Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all doing well, happy, and in good health. May God bless you with a long, prosperous life and protect you from all hardships. I pray for those who are struggling that their troubles ease, for the sick to find healing, and for those who've passed to rest in peace. Please keep me and my family in your prayers. All right, the story I'm about to share with you today. Even while recording the intro for this story, I'm feeling scared. Believe me, when I was narrating this story, someone actually shook my chair really hard. I was lost in my flow, in my zone. I had found some relief. But while I was narrating this story, something happened to me that was so intense, it got recorded in the audio of this story as well. I left it as it is. You'll be able to hear it in the middle of the story. I was in a state like I was half asleep. I left the room for quite a while and stood outside staring at this room from the doorway. I kept looking at my chair, wondering if someone was in the room. I kept feeling a presence, like someone was there who had shaken me to my core. Anyway, only God knows what it was or wasn't, but someone definitely shook my chair hard, and I was terrified. Let's move to the stories. Before we start, let's recite prayer and create a protective shield around ourselves. They say when you talk about these creatures, they get very interested and come close to listen to their stories. To avoid fear, recite prayer. Let's dive into our stories. I can't reveal my name. I'm from Weston. For this story, my fake name is Amelia. This is my cousin's story, and I'm sharing it in her words. This incident happened in October 2022. My husband got his share of the family property, so we bought a house in Weston. I was thrilled, like any girl would be, to have her own home. We happily moved into that house. I decorated every corner of the house with love. My father-in-law had passed away, and my mother-in-law sometimes stayed with her elder son and sometimes with us. While we were settling in, my mother-in-law went to my brother-in-law's house. During that time, God blessed us with a child. I was getting weaker day by day. Everyone thought it was because of my pregnancy, so no one paid much attention. Strange things started happening in the house. Items disappearing, food running out, or too much salt in the food. My husband thought I wasn't managing things properly due to my health. You might be thinking, Ednambai, what's scary or strange about this? Let me tell you, the real story starts here. On the day of my delivery, I was cleaning the house and setting up a room for the baby. I noticed a nail in the corner of that room. I removed it, told my husband, and went to the hospital. After setting up that room, a storm entered our lives. God blessed me with a beautiful son, and we were overjoyed. But suddenly, my baby's condition worsened. The doctor admitted him to the St. John Hospital, while I was in a nearby hospital in Weston. That night when I woke up, I saw a huge dark shadow standing at the foot of my bed, holding my baby and making terrifying noises, laughing loudly. I was so scared I couldn't speak. I woke my sister and told her everything, but she said it was my imagination and told me to sleep. I was under the influence of medication and fell asleep. When I woke up in the morning, my sister had already arranged my discharge and was packing my things. I asked why we were leaving early when my discharge was supposed to be the next day. She said the doctor told us to go home, and she took me away. When we reached home, there was a crowd. I asked what happened, but no one said anything. I went inside and saw my baby lying in the same clothes as he was with the shadow. I started crying loudly and fainted. When I came to, everyone had left. My husband and family tried to console me. I was sitting quietly by the headboard when I saw the same shadow again, sitting on top of my wardrobe, laughing loudly, holding my baby. I screamed for my husband, "Daniel, look, it's holding my baby." But he said there was nothing there, and it was my imagination. My condition worsened. There were scratch marks all over my body. My husband called the priest, who came and recited the Bible and performed a ritual. My health improved slightly. The priest told my husband that the house had very dangerous and evil ghosts living in it. They were sealed in the walls by the previous owners, but were released again. Now their entire family lives here. He advised us to leave the house, but my husband didn't take it seriously. After that, something happened to me every day. Finally, my husband sent me to my mother's house and had the house treated by a spiritual healer. But the ghost had already taken hold of me. My family says when it possessed me, even my father, brothers, husband, and sisters together couldn't control me. I would throw everyone around. The healer was treating our house and told my husband to bring some items the next day, like meat, lemons, and white cloth. He also said the issue was very serious, and he couldn't handle it alone. He'd bring his teacher the next day. You'll be shocked to hear that the next morning, when they went to the healer's room, all the items, meat, white cloth, lemons, were there. And sadly, the healer had passed away. His lifeless body was found. After that incident, we were terrified. My condition kept worsening. I had no strength to get up, and I stopped eating and drinking. My husband spent all day asking people for a good healer. Someone told us about a shrine in Weston. My husband took me there. The elders there summoned the ghost, and every minute a new ghost would appear. They got frustrated and asked, "How many of you are there? Tell the truth." One of them replied, "We are 105. Yes, this really happened to me. 105 ghosts had taken over my body. Thank God we reached that shrine in time, and the elders treated me. The ghosts said this was their house, and we caused them trouble by freeing them. They threatened that if we didn't vacate the house, they'd call the rest of their family and kill me. We immediately left that house. Praise be to God, I'm completely fine now. Mash God, I have twin children, a boy and a girl, and we're very happy now. This was my cousin's terrifying true incident. I hope you and your YouTube family like this story and upload it to your channel soon. Thank you for sharing your story with us. Maybe I'm sharing it a bit late, but it's done. May God ensure you receive this story. And please comment below if you've heard it. Let's move towards another story. I'm from Kashmir, India. I can't share my name because my niece listens to your stories. I can't sleep without listening to your stories at night. My story begins in 2023 when I was studying in Srinagar. At our hostel, someone would knock on the girls' room windows. They would scream and gather everyone. Once we were all sitting and talking, and my roommate revealed that she had two ghosts with her, one Muslim and one non-Muslim. As my friendship with her grew, their effects started impacting me too. Once I went home for a few days away from her. One night I was sleeping with my face turned to the left. When I tried to turn to the right, something pushed my right shoulder. As soon as this happened, I woke up. I tried to turn again, but something pushed me again, not letting me turn. When I tried a third time, the same thing happened. I remembered God and somehow fell back asleep. Sometime later, at the hostel, I experienced sleep paralysis. My friend came to wake me up, and I was trying to open my eyes, but they wouldn't open. I could feel it was her, but it was like she was sitting on top of me. With great difficulty, I opened my eyes and saw her looking at me with a terrifying smile. In the blink of an eye, she disappeared. I called out to her, asking if it was her, and she said, "No, I was sleeping." Since then, this state started happening to me more often. Now, I've made it a habit to recite prayer before sleeping. Eventually, our course ended, and we all returned to our homes. I had a habit of praying before sleeping. One night, while praying, I felt like my mother left my room. I clearly heard the door open, then the bathroom door open, and the sound of running water. But no one came out. After completing my prayer, I checked, but there was nothing in the bathroom or anywhere else. A few days later, while praying again, as soon as I started my prayer, strange noises began coming from the courtyard outside, like an animal growling loudly. It felt like one of God's creatures making different kinds of sounds. I gathered courage because I was in a state of prayer and completed prayer, but the noises continued. I didn't have the courage to peek out the window because I was praying right next to it, and the sounds were coming from there. Finally, I mustered the courage to look outside, and it felt like something was moving away. Then I heard the sound of 3 footsteps, as if it was running outside. Let me also tell you, while this was happening, I felt a presence in the room where I was. I could hear footsteps like someone was continuously walking in the room while I was praying. But I felt a very positive and safe feeling, like being in my Father's presence. Somehow I gathered courage, returned to my room, and went to sleep. The next day, when I told my family, no one believed me, but our neighbors said they had heard the same noises. So, I got curious about what those sounds were. When I researched, I found out they were similar to the sound of a jackal. Once I was talking to that same friend on the phone, and she started telling me about her experiences with ghosts. I don't know what came over me, but I mocked her and said such things don't exist. Although the Quran mentions ghosts, I don't know why I said that at that moment. That same night, I experienced sleep paralysis again. My eyes were open, but my tongue was frozen. I saw a dark, shadowy figure sitting in front of me, laughing at me, as if mocking me for denying its existence. I tried to scream, calling for my parents to save me, but no words came out. With great difficulty, I recited prayer and that state went away. I tried to sleep. As morning approached, someone started knocking loudly on my room's door. In my sleep, I shouted, "It's open, come in!" thinking it was my mother coming to wake me. But I felt sleep paralysis again. I could hear sounds, my eyes were open, but my voice wouldn't come out. This went on for 2 minutes. Then I recited prayer and my tongue was freed. I got up to see who was outside, but everyone was asleep and faint light was coming in. I asked God for forgiveness for my mistake, and since then, everything has been fine. However, for the past few days, when I forget to recite prayer before sleeping, when I wake up in the middle of the night, it feels like my own face, with big bulging eyes, is staring at me. This has happened 3 times. My doppelganger standing in front of my face, staring at me. When it happens, I don't feel scared, but when I tell others later, it gives me goosebumps. Even now, while narrating this story, I'm getting goosebumps. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us. Let's move to another story. My name is Luna, and I'm 17 years old. I live in a place between Lucas and 12 villages. Sleep is something that brings peace to a person. When a person sleeps, they forget everything and feel calm. But what happens when sleep itself takes away your peace? I'm from a middle-class family, and we moved to this new house 2 years ago. The land this house is built on belonged to someone we knew. But this place is very isolated. There are no other houses nearby. There are houses, but they're far away. My grandfather chose this place himself because it was close to our old house and my uncle's house, just 12 minutes away. Before moving here, we heard many stories about this place. It used to be a jungle, and some people said a saint used to practice some kind of knowledge here. My grandfather didn't believe in these stories and considered them lies. Anyway, we shifted here. I'm a very brave girl and didn't believe in such things either. But now I believe because it's still watching me. I feel its presence with me all the time. The first incident happened just 2 months after we moved into this house. It was January and it was cold. I was sleeping alone in my room. In the middle of the night, my eyes opened. I looked around my room, but when I tried to move my hand, I realized my entire body was stiff. I could only move my eyes. It felt like someone was holding me tightly. My gaze was still upward. Then suddenly I felt movement. I looked toward the window, and someone was standing there. I couldn't see its face, but whatever it was staring at me. I tried to call out to my mother, but my mouth wouldn't open. With great effort, I recited some prayers. Suddenly, my eyes opened again, and I felt a strong jolt. I got up and ran to my mother's room, lying down next to her. In the morning, I told her everything, and she said it was probably my imagination or fear from waking up at night. Since I didn't believe in such things, I accepted her explanation. But I didn't know this would start happening every day. The second incident happened 3 days later. My eyes opened at night again, but this time my face was toward the wall. It was cold, but I was sweating. My body was stiff like before, and I was just staring at the wall. But now I felt something else, like someone was watching me. I also felt a presence on my bed, as if someone was lying next to me. My soul felt like it left my body. Out of fear, I tightly closed my eyes. Slowly, my eyes opened and I heard footsteps. A little later, I felt a strong jolt and my eyes opened again. One strange thing about my room was that the bathroom was separate from the house. It was built later, attached only to my room and detached from the rest of the house. Anyway, I was terrified, so I asked my younger brother, who is 4 years younger than me, to sleep with me. Having him with me gave me some comfort. But that night, my eyes opened again. This time, I saw my brother standing in front of the bathroom door. I was sure it was him, but suddenly I felt a hand on me. Then I realized my brother was sleeping next to me. So who was that? That figure slowly walked toward me and sat on the chair next to my bed. It was staring at me. Its eyes were huge and black. God have mercy! God, God, there's no God but God! Friends, this has never happened before while I was narrating a story. Some activity happening to me. Today, while narrating, my hands and feet are trembling. I took a break to calm myself down and sat back at the mic. While narrating this story, someone shook my chair so hard that I almost fell backward. The scene was that when I narrate, I put both my feet up on the chair, sitting casually. So, while I was narrating, this happened. This is the only story where this has happened. I've narrated many creepy stories before, but this activity happened to me just now. I barely saved myself from falling, and you can hear my voice again. You can rewind and listen. It's the exact moment when the recording was happening, and this activity occurred. Only God knows what it was. I immediately recited prayer, got up, drank some water, and checked the room. I stood at the door, staring at the spot where I work, and then I started recording again. I don't know why, but I feel like the creature from the story, the one who sent it or is mentioned, might be near me. Believe me, my palms are warm, and I'm in a bad state. Being in a place where you can't see something but feel its presence around you is terrifying. Maybe it's my imagination, but God knows best. My chair definitely moved, and I barely saved myself from falling to the ground. You heard my real voice when I got scared and almost fell. Anyway, let's continue the story. It was staring at me continuously. Its eyes were huge and black. I tightly closed my eyes. I wanted to scream, shout, wake my brother, but after a while, as usual, I sat up on my own, and this cycle never stopped. I tried explaining to my mother many times, but she brushed it off, saying it was probably because I watched too many horror movies or was making excuses to get a different room. No one believed me. Believe me, if someone had told me this, I wouldn't have believed them either, but this was happening. Now, instead of every 3 days, it started happening every day. Every night, my eyes would open, and even when I slept with my mother, the same things happened. The worst incident was when I had a strange dream. In it, my younger brother kept telling me a name, John. The strange thing was that he kept saying, "Take this name too." But in the same dream, my other brother was telling me not to take that name. Suddenly, my eyes opened, and the same thing happened that had become routine for me. I remembered the dream, and unknowingly, I said the name, John. Believe me, it felt like someone grabbed me tightly, like they wanted to enter me, as if someone was trying to pull all my bones out of my body at once. I don't know what happened to me then. I said the name again, John, and it felt like someone grabbed me tightly again. Tears were streaming from my eyes. My head felt heavy, and I couldn't see anything around me. My body felt so heavy, and I couldn't breathe. My grandfather often stayed awake at night, and since my room was near the kitchen, he sometimes checked on me. That day, he felt something strange and came to my room. Thank God he came in time, or I don't know what would have happened. I told him everything, and the next day he brought an amulet for me and instructed me not to take it off, even while bathing. Believe me, whatever that was, it's still with me. It doesn't come close, but it's there. I see its black, hollow eyes staring at me from outside my window all the time. I don't like sleeping at night anymore because I know it's still there. It doesn't bother me now, but I know it's named John. How long will this amulet protect me? How long will I escape John? What if I fall asleep and it happens again? It's been 3 weeks and nothing has happened, praise be to God. But last night I had another strange dream. May God have mercy. May God keep you all safe from these things. They're very dangerous. They weaken you from the inside and then try to take over. This was my story. It's not complete yet, but I hope you and your subscribers like it. May God keep you and everyone safe. Thank you for sharing your story with us.